really good days. You're eating better, you're feeling motivated, you're doing the things. And then you wake up and your body is like, nope, not today. And you don't even know why. If you've ever lived in that loop, this live is for you. What's interesting is that this is all too common with people. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not that your willpower just stinks. It's about when we're focusing on one thing, part of our mind can think, yes, I want this. And another part of our mind can fight back and push against it. But this is not proof that you can't change. If you've ever experienced this, most women will go through life and they'll blame themselves if this kind of thing comes up. It's like, well, I've tried all the things and nothing's working, or I've tried that before and it didn't work for me. But what we often don't recognize is that the unconscious, subconscious mind, I use those two interchangeable, and this came up in a discussion this morning. So I wanted to bring that up as well. If I say unconscious, I don't mean you were passed out flat on the floor. I'm talking about the part of your mind that runs the show. 90 to 95% of what we do in a day on a daily basis is controlled by our subconscious or unconscious mind. That's what I mean by unconscious. So if your unconscious mind is trying to hold you back or trying to stop you from doing something out of a form of protection, this is where we can have this conflict where it's like, I want to do something, but a part of me is holding me back. A part of me is saying no. And so when you keep starting and stopping things, it's usually not a motivation problem. This is where this inner conflict comes up, where you're literally fighting yourself through this because the one part of you that wants to make sure that you're safe, wants to make sure that you wake up tomorrow, that's one of the presuppositions. So it's one of the overall goals of your subconscious, unconscious mind is to make sure that you will wake up tomorrow. So that can mean I'm going to push you to do the things that you did yesterday, even if those things don't move you towards the goals that you want. But those things that you did yesterday, you woke up today. So we know that that's safe. And so if one part of you wants change and another part is trying to keep you safe, this is where there can be conflict. It's like driving your car with one foot planted firmly on the gas pedal and one foot planted firmly on the brake. Part of you wants to move forward and part of you doesn't. And so this is a technique that I often help clients with. It's called parts integration, which is ultimately understanding that both parts of these parts of you that are at conflict at this point, both want positive results for you. Both want a positive outcome. And when we can help the unconscious mind realize that it is safe to try new things, that's where big changes happen. So I'm going to give you 4 to 5 examples, and I want you to pick what lands the most for you right now. One of the things, if you're focusing on what the goals are that you want to go towards, think about something new that you want to do. And well, I'd love that, but I can't because that's the conflict. That's what's driving the conflict in your mind and in your body, and ultimately what's holding you back from your results. So if I relax, I'll lose control is a common one that I hear, especially with MS clients, especially with people who are the go-getter type A personalities. If I relax, I'll lose control. If any of these land for you, you can just notice it in your mind, or you can comment in the chat. What about if I slow down, everything will fall apart? If I slow down, everything will fall apart. These are the brake pedal examples. One foot's on the gas, moving towards your goals. These examples that I'm giving to you are common brake pedal thoughts that many people have. If I feel better, it won't last. So don't trust it. If I feel better, it won't last. So don't trust it. What about if I get my hopes up? I'll be disappointed again. If I get my hopes up, I'll be disappointed again. Oh, here's one that I heard recently. If I change, people will expect more from me. If I change, people will expect more from me. So imagine you're on this path, on this mission, and moving towards a new goal. This could be in your health, it could be in relationships, it could be in your business. And you think, ooh, that would be really nice to have that. I would love that, but I can't because. The can't because and everything that comes after that is your brake pedal examples. So these are the things that are pretty cool to kind of just recognize for yourself. And the reason it's good to recognize this is because once you have awareness of what are the brake pedal thoughts that are holding you from going where you want to go, this is when you can start to shift and adjust them. So I want you to do a quick check-in with me. Answer in your head or in the comments. Where do you see your gas pedal? What do you want right now? Bring up an idea, bring up something, a goal, something that you really want, something that you wish you had, but currently don't. And you can bring that up in your mind, or you can drop it in the comments as well. So, what is your gas pedal? Where do you see your gas pedal? What do you really want right now? And alternatively, where does your brake show up? This could be procrastination. This could show up as quitting. This could be overthinking. If it's weight loss related, it could be binging, overeating. It could be crashing. It could be avoiding. What are the great brake pedal moments that show up for you when you do try to move forward, when you do try to go towards something new and do try to achieve your goal? And if your brake could talk, what would it say it's trying to protect you from? I had an experience that I shared recently about I went to master practitioner training for NLP in November of this year, I believe. Anyways, or not this year, 2025. And in this training, what I started to recognize, I've been working on growing my business, helping people get out of their own way and make change in their life and find ways to take their foot off the brake so that the gas pedal is more effective. And I've been doing this since 2020. And the recognition that I had in this master prac training was it was similar questions. What's the goal that you have? Where do you have your foot placed firmly on the gas, wanting to move towards this this contribution or this mission or this level of providing impact or creating impact in the world? And I am very clear in my mind about the impact that I want to help people achieve and how I want to help people move through these challenges that they're dealing with in their life. But the brake pedal was a surprising one for me that came up. So some of you may relate to this. So foot firmly planted on the gas, absolutely. But the brake pedal for me went back to an experience that I had in the past. And sometimes it can be old emotional stuff that hasn't been dealt with that you've just been dragging around, or a backpack of old anger or sadness or grief or guilt or shame or fear or all these other things that you're carrying around, and you just keep adding to it, and eventually it gets so heavy that you can't really carry on and do the things that you want to do. This is trying to protect you from something. And so, my experience, or what came up in this going through the breakthrough, which is what I offer for clients as well, but had the opportunity to do breakthroughs with each other at this training, which was very cool. And the practitioner who was my coach throughout this training discovered that I had a fear that if I succeed, or if things go too well in my business, the higher I am, the higher the fall, essentially. I went through a period of my life where I was a retail manager, very different from an entrepreneur, but it's a similar concept. And so mind made the connection. I did very well in this retail job. I was successful. I pushed myself. I got to nearly the top of the company. I was making good money for the position that it was. And eventually, they changed management, and I was too expensive. So I was let go. I thought all of these years that putting all this time, effort, and energy into this job and into like improving my skills and getting better and making my store do better and like creating all these awesome results, I thought that was mine because of the effort that I put in. And all of a sudden, that was ripped out from under me. They came in one day and they let me go. And so my unconscious mind had this belief that if you succeed, the more you succeed, the bigger the fall. And so when I would start to do well in terms of my business, my entrepreneur business, in terms of helping people, I had this ceiling and I'd start to bump up against that ceiling and I would do all of these brake pedal things that I was mentioning. I would sabotage the heck out of it because I felt more comfortable staying down here and playing it safe than pushing myself to a level where I set up for the potential of having that fall again because it sucked and it was painful. And my mind said, I don't want to experience that again. It was horrible. And so when it comes to if your brake pedal could talk, what would it say it's trying to protect you from? For me, it was protecting me from the pain of that experience. It was a horrible experience. And so it could be trying to protect you from failing. Maybe it's trying to protect you from disappointment. Maybe it's trying to protect you from pressure. Think about that. When you think about the gas pedal moments, what are the goals that you're working to achieve, the things you're working towards? And how are you also on the other side? So goals are here. On this side, what are the brake pedal moments? How is your body or your mind, sorry, creating an interrupt that's basically working against the things you're working to achieve? And again, that can show up as if I get my hopes up, I'll be disappointed again. So I'm going to take my foot off the gas a little bit or put my foot on the brake harder. If I slow down, everything will fall apart. If I feel better, it won't last. So don't trust it. There's so many different ways where we can create conflict inside of ourselves that prevent us from moving towards our goal. So where do you see your gas pedal right now? What are the things that you want? And then where's the brake pedal? How is that showing up? Is it procrastination? Is it self-doubt, overthinking, binging, crashing, avoiding, limiting yourself, talking yourself out of moving forward? And so I'm going to do a little exercise with you now to help you feel this in your body. Because when we can start to feel it, that's one of the easiest ways to start to recognize where things are showing up and how to change them. So, what I want you to do is put one hand on your chest and put one hand on your belly. You probably can't see that on here. No, you can't. Okay, so put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. And now slowly breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And then say, even if my system is running an old rule, I can go slowly and I can still change. So let's do that 2 more times. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And repeat this for yourself. Even if my system is running an old rule, I can go slowly and I can still change. Once more, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Even if my system is running an old rule, I can go slowly and I can still change. So let me ask you, do you feel even 5% softer? That softness is important. It's proof for you that this was never about force. So the goal is not to push harder. The goal is to notice the rule and then update it. When your subconscious rule changes, consistency stops feeling like a fight. If this resonates for you, if you got something from this today, comment rule below, and I'll share a few of the most common ones I see. Hopefully, you got some value from this. If you're the kind of person who feels like you're fighting yourself, you feel like one side of you wants something and the other side of you is pushing back, doesn't. One side of you is putting their foot firmly on the gas pedal, the other side is putting their foot firmly on the brake. This is something that I help clients with often because the body is or the mind is always trying to protect you and keep you safe. And we can help the mind recognize, like the story I shared, where I was working towards impact. I want to help people. I want to help people change the battles that they're fighting in their minds, the ways that they're getting in their own way. I want to make a difference when it comes to healthcare. I went through my own journey struggling with MS and got to a point where it was like, okay, I have to do something different. And so if you find that that's a situation for you where you want something, but some way you keep holding yourself back, this is something that I can help you with. I help clients with this all the time, but for now, if this landed with you in any way, comment relief below, and I'll share with you the top things that I see here. Sorry, comment rule below, and I'll share with you the top rules that I see that we make up in our unconscious mind that controls our life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. I'm Kate McDowell from Aligned